guys, it's Dan from Generation Productions with another fossil hunt today, and again I'm going to be playing the music to the theme song of Jurassic Park by Murray Gold, not Murray Gold, John Williams, and the version I'm playing is again the Rockstar 7X. So go people, go subscribe to his channel, Rock Guitar 7X. Go subscribe to his channel, people. I don't know if the link I've left in the comment in the descriptions, whether that's actually going to work or not, but just copy and paste the where I got it from, which is Jurassic Park theme song metal rock cover, and copy and paste that into your search, and hopefully you'll be able to find this theme song. But of course, like I said, I'm only going to play sections of it because, you know, copyright reasons. But I hope you don't mind if I play your music for my fossil discoveries, because this is really awesome and your music is really awesome, man. So thank you very much for letting me play it. Okay, people, let's get into it. Okay, now then, let's get into it. So, the fossils I've got today, I'm going to do a little bit of a tutorial with one of my fossils as well. And let's get into it. One of the ones I'm going to show off now is the fossil known as Trilobite. The Metacanthia trilobite has to be allegedly 380 million years old. This one comes from the Atlas Mountains in Morocco. So that's the other interesting thing. And what I find interesting about this, if you have a look at it, all around the edges of this fossil, you can see where they've actually sort of like chiseled away at it. So I think they may use a super power tool or something. But the scary part about this kind of thing is that when you see these chisel lines, I still start to wonder whether that's almost like a sign that the fossil maybe even be 3D printed and might be a fake. I don't know. Because it looks like to me like when you see these kind of like little grooves and lines, I don't know if you guys can see it, when I'm seeing these little grooves and lines all over the rock, whether it's been 3D printed or not, or whether it is actually a genuine fossil. Because this is how some people do it. They 3D print a thing, and to make they feel the weight, they actually coat it in plaster or something, so it gives it a weight of a real fossil, but it may not be a real fossil. So I don't know if this is a real trilobite or not, or whether it's just a 3D print and it's just been painted to look like a real one or not. I don't know, but it's still pretty nice to have in the collection. I do have a few different trilobites as well. Next one I got on score is a piece of Australian plesiosaur partial hip bone from central West Queensland. It's said to be allegedly 100 million years old. There we go, people. And I'll just take that off the sign, even though that's probably a little bit damaging because of the blue tack on it, but I don't know. But there we go. I'm pretty sure that's a legit piece, and if I smell it, it smells a little bit plastery, so I have no idea whether it's actually a legit fossil either, or if it's just a reproduction. I don't know, but it definitely looks awesome. Also, again, part of the fossil collection. So that's those two. I'm going to do something special for you people today. I'm going to do a bit of an unboxing, somewhat. This here is a Spinosaur tooth from, I believe it's supposed to be late Jurassic or Cretaceous. Fossil people are going to have to get on my back about that one, because I don't really remember. But as we know from Jurassic Park, this was a main predator in Jurassic Park 3. so it's pretty awesome to have a thing. Now, I don't know, I've got a really sneaky suspicion that this is a replica. I've got a really sneaky suspicion mainly because of this coloration of the actual tooth. It looks like it's been painted. Although then again, it could be some sort of varnish or some sort of stuff to protect the fossil. That's also very much possible. But I've got a sneaky suspicion that this Spinosaur tooth is actually fake. I really think it could be a cast or mold that's been painted to look like a real tooth. I think this one is actually fake. Somehow, I just got this feeling it's fake. That's the problem with some people in the fossil market. People know what you're buying. There's a lot of cases where there has been lots of reproductions and fakes and 3D prints of fossils. So you've got to be very careful what you're buying. But yeah, that looks like to me, this mosasaur tooth, it looks like a reproduction. So I reckon a lot of those fossils I just shown you, I think might be reproductions somehow. But let's get into some real stuff and show you a bit of a fake and a reproduction. So, well, here we go. Here's another one. This here is I believe it's supposed to be one of those shell pieces, and I'm trying to remember what they're called. Trilobite? No, not trilobite. That's what I just showed. Ammonite, I think. Ammonite or ammonite. A lot of people would have seen something similar to this in Pokemon, where they pick up the thing to make Omnistar and Omnite or whatever from Pokemon as well. They pick up this kind of fossil from Pokemon. But this is actually the real Ammonite, I think it is. This is the real one, not from Pokemon. You can smell. It smells a little bit gritty, so I'm pretty sure that's legit. And what I think is amazing about this particular one is if you have a close look, you can actually see like these little imprints of like fern-like structures around the outside of the shell. So I'm even wondering if this thing was actually sitting in on the bed of floor underneath a bit of seaweed or something, because there's all these little fracture lines, or trying to think of what you'd call it, like little fracture lines, or even just like I said, things that look like like it's been sitting on a leaf and somehow that got fossilized along with it. Some leaves or some sort of green crap. But that's a real ammonite, I believe. But there are also replicas. I believe I got one of these from a toy thing as well. And so let me show you. There we go. The difference between a real and a fake. Now this one is actually, if you smell it, it's absolutely 100% clay. This was a part of a toy thing. Now, there's supposed to be some real fossils inside that, so I don't know if I'll actually ever crack this one open, or whether I'll just leave it in this very nice display of a ammonite casting of clay. And there we go. We'll just show the two. I don't know if I can show the two side by side. I don't know if this screen can actually pick it up. I'm pretty sure it can. So there we go. They look exactly identical, almost, except for the fact that this is actually like clay, and there's actually, I said, little fossils inside this thing. I think they've gone for the fact that the ammonite was supposed to have actually eaten them. So you have like a shark tooth, a snail shell, and another ammonite inside this thing, inside this ammonite. But again, like I said, it's a clay piece, and yeah. So that's the sort of way you can tell is with some things how they're real or fake, is like discoloration, and also the smell. Like I said, if you smell something that smells a bit like plaster, in most cases it's just a sculpt or a replica. It's not legit. Okay, so now I've got those out of the way. Now, I think some of those, except for that ammonite, I think that was 100% real. Some of those other ones, I believe, could be replicas. And I think I'll finish off with some more replicas. Well, not getting close to finishing off. I've got some special things left over for this episode. So here's a replica T-Rex tooth. Now, if you go on eBay and find a real one of these, a lot of them are going for like $1,000 or more, the real teeth. I'd love to get my hands on a real, this size, which I don't know if it's about 12 inch, I think. This one was made by Geofin, in Italy. So this was a a cast made in Italy for a T-Rex tooth, which is rather interesting. I don't know if I thought T-Rexes were mainly in Montana or Texas or somewhere, but obviously somehow, like I said, this person from Italy managed to get it cast and recast the mold for this thing. And what I love about this particular replica, it's got this serrated edge around the tooth, and most T-Rex teeth actually have serrated edges around the edge. So that's actually quite good representation of that. So that's a replica. The next two replica pieces I got from I think it was called some sort of Geo kit, some sort of ground ore kit or something, where you actually build a replica scale of the actual dinosaur. Plus you get some replica fossils as well. Now this is supposed to be a Stegosaurus. And if I remember correctly, Stegosaurus is supposed to be, this is supposed to be representative of a Stegosaurus plate. And if I remember correctly, he's supposed to be in the late Cretaceous period, maybe Jurassic. I'm not really 100% sure. People, please leave the comments below if I get some of these time periods wrong. And this here is a replica, one of the plates, and I think this is supposed to be up near the neck, if I remember correctly, like one of those small plates up towards the neck area, rather than the bigger, bulkier plates towards the back. So there's that piece. Next one we have is Triceratops. And so here's a replica of Triceratops skin. Now this is pretty amazing. A nice replica casting of a Triceratops skin. Now the interesting thing about Triceratops is that there was actually a researcher from a university who cut into a Triceratops horn and found stretchy, flexible bone marrow-like material, just like Marianne Schweitzer did. I'm pretty sure if you go down and have a look through some of my dinosaur reviews, you'll find that video where it talks about that, where a guy was actually expelled from the actual university because they believed, because he was a creationist or believer in God, that he actually got expelled because they thought there's no way that what he's saying was true. But of course, I'm starting to realise now, we know that it is true that we can get DNA or bone marrow from fossils, regardless of what some people think. So there we go. So there's a replica piece of the Triceratops skin, which is quite amazing. I mean, I know this is actually supposed to be for a toy, believe it or not. Like I said, the toy of build a skeleton. So it's quite amazing piece to see this fossil, basically museum-like quality piece for being a replica of the Triceratops skin. So there we go. That's the two of those pieces. And now I've got some really awesome stuff to show you guys. Man, you guys are going to really be awesome by this. And that was also another replica as well. Another replica. Trying to think of it. Megalodon tooth. I do have some real Megalodon teeth, but I've actually put them away at this point in time, so I didn't actually get a chance to bring them out. But there's a replica of a Megalodon tooth. Again, there's supposed to be actually teeth inside this, but I just love the sculpt. A bit like the sculpt with the ammonite. I just couldn't bust these open because they look so beautiful. They're actually part of, like I said, a kids thing where you're supposed to actually dig into the clay and dig the fossils out. But I found another easy way to get some of these out. I had some of these recently with some fossil things from like Jurassic Park. And what I did was actually, what you can do with these is that you can put them in like warm water and they start bubbling, and you can find where the fossils are and also break it up a lot more cleanly than having a bit of a mess with kids picking at the clay and leaving a big mess behind. So there's a theory. Some parents and some kids, if you find some of these clay toy replicas of tooth and thing, and there's fossils inside them. The best way to get them out, soak them. Put them in the bathtub, put them in the sink, and just with warm water, and they'll eventually start bubbling, and you'll be able to find where the fossils are automatically, and you can just basically just snap them in half because they're in water and they're clay. So there's a bit of a background for you. And like I said, now, sorry, I've been putting this off. I've got some really awesome stuff for you. And here we go. Here's the awesome stuff. Okay, so there we go. Now I'm going to give you a bit of a brief history about these animals. This is the emu egg, and emus were first discovered around the mid 20th century. What some people may not know about the emus is they were introduced to Mara, I think it's pronounced. I could be botching his name, so please don't kill me. Mara Island off the island of Tasmania, and Kangaroo Island off the coast of South Australia. During the mid 20th century, the Mara Island population had died out in the mid 1990s, but the Kangaroo Island emus have successfully established a breeding population. So there we go. And again, with these eggs, this is 100% real emu egg. So if any one of you people have never ever seen an emu egg before, here it is. These things are super fragile. In my days, like in my school years, there was actually at the Monash school where I used to go to a Monash school. A teacher actually passed one of these around, and they said one of the guys said to the kids, "Please don't drop it." And what he did, he dropped it, and the whole thing shattered. So these eggs are very fragile. They may look quite sturdy, but they are quite fragile. If you drop them on the ground, they will break. So pretty much like every other egg. But yeah, that's a very good thing. And also a known thing about, if people want to collect these eggs, you can look them up on eBay or Amazon. But also you'll find out as well, there's actually a hole in the bottom. And what happens is that they drill a hole in each end of the egg, and then they get, I don't know if I've got one, I don't think I have, but they get a straw and go and actually blow out all the yolk and stuff from inside the egg. Of course, that's probably, and some people might find that barbaric, you're sort of, killing a baby emu. But on the flip side, you get the nice, awesome egg, and that's quite cool, the emu egg. Now, and then we have this one. This here is the ostrich egg. Now, I know there has been some ostrich farms in Australia, so I don't know whether this actually came from ostrich farm or where it actually came from. But I find this quite interesting as well. It's a beautiful egg. I like it. It's pretty impressive. And like I said, with the emu egg and the ostrich egg, you can almost feel the concept of them being like dinosaur eggs, and even some. Actually, they are the same size as dinosaur eggs, so that's quite interesting. And also in Jurassic Park, emu and ostrich eggs, they were used they fertilized them to help create the dinosaurs like the raptors and the T-Rex and various other dinosaurs like the Indoraptor and everything else from Jurassic World. So that's an interesting little concept for the emu and ostrich eggs. A little bit fact about the ostriches. The common ostrich was originally described by Carl Linus from Sweden in his 18th century work. So basically, he probably was like a geologist or something, and or some sort of person in the 18th century. He went over to Africa and saw the actual emus, not emus, saw the ostriches over there in the 18th century. And Systemera naturae is basically its scientific name or something. I don't know. Binomial name. So I have no idea about this gobbledygook. But yeah, ostriches were, like I said, flightless birds like emus, and it's all said that they also possibly could be related to the Gallimimus. Who knows? But there we go, people. So that's the two special things. And again, this egg is quite light as well. But again, you don't want to go dropping these things. Like I said, if you drop them, they'll smash. They are very quite light and lightweight. There's a little bit of a weight to them. But again, you can probably find these on Amazon and eBay. If you come from America, ostrich eggs will be easy to grab a hold of. If you after something from Australia, if you're from America or something, you want some Australian eggs like that, you probably have to go through some special dealership or stuff, because you may even have to get quarantine or something like that to actually sterilise these kind of eggs if you want to import them out of Australia. But other than that, people, yep, these are really awesome things. Also, like I said, even though these eggs are not technically dinosaur eggs, they do almost resemble what a dinosaur egg would actually look like in real life. So it's pretty amazing. I'm not, like I said, I'm not an evolutionist. I don't believe that dinosaurs evolved into birds, but again, you can still see a similarity, and the way I see it is it's the way God created animals. God created animals with a similar ability or a similar style of way of doing things, as sort of like a trademark. So God's trademark on his creation of how some animals resemble one another. Now, some people say that's evolution, but I don't believe in evolution. But there you go, people. Thanks for watching, and I hope you were pretty impressed by some of my fossil replicas and some of my fossils, and also some of my real, somewhat dinosaur-like eggs, which is actually bird eggs, but they're still quite awesome. So again, people, thank you for watching, and hope to see you next for another episode of this dinosaur extravaganza. Okay, bye.